I'm the co-chair for this event. The Luninaria ceremony is an opportunity for us to come together and remember why we're here at this relay. I'd like to ask that you all please respect the meaning of this ceremony by remaining silent during this time. Thank you for that. This is a time for us to grieve for those that we've lost. It's a time for us to reflect on how the disease has touched each of us personally. And it's a time for us to look inside ourselves with quiet reflection and find hope. Because no matter what our experience with cancer has been, we all share the hope that we will one day live in a world where our children and their children will never have to hear the words, "You have cancer." Our track is illuminated by Luninaria. Each one represents a treasured relationship. They represent people, and each has a name and a story to tell. They are our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our sons and daughters, and our friends, as well as our loved ones. As they glow through the night, they represent our shared vision for a cancer-free future. We love the people these Luninaria represent. We remember them and celebrate them and fight back against this disease for them. And at this time, I would like to introduce Teal Gatos to read a very special poem.
Hello, I'd like to read a poem in honor of my Nana. She unfortunately lost her battle 7 years ago, so I apologize in advance if I start to tear up a little. Can't even see the poem. Okay, go this way. No, I'll stay in the dark. Yep. Tonight in this place, I send a message. I have something I want you to know. I am thankful for the memories spent with you, and your memory I will never let go. Some days I still feel quite baffled because I cannot believe we are apart. But I don't have to go far to find you because you're always there in my heart. We had so many great times together. To be honest, I don't know where to begin. All I know is that someday, soon in heaven, you and I will be reunited once again. Tonight I am holding on to a candle, and in your honor a flame will be lit. For a brief moment, the sadness that I feel will finally be eased just a little bit. On this night, this candlelight represents the love for you I have deep inside of me, but it also represents all the great things in my life that you've helped me to be. I know there are more than stars in the sky. I know that you are still concerned about me. I know for me you still care and have love. Some people may think I should move on, but believe me, I'm not even trying, because the love that I feel for you is love that will always be undying. You will remain a driving force within me, as a source of strength and a source of light. So tonight, in your memory and honor, let this candle burn oh so very bright. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Irene Tellez.
And she expects me to read after that. Okay. Hope is defined as a person or thing on which one based some hope. Hope is a belief in a positive outcome related to events and circumstances. Hope is the feeling that what is wanted can be had or that events will turn out for the best. Hope is a community gathered together in unity with a common cause to make a difference in the fight against cancer. You all join me here tonight with a story of remembrance, with memories of a personal battle or that of a loved one against a disease that takes too much from too many. These memories are powerful weapons as they have brought you here to this field tonight, not just with the desire to remember, but the desire to find hope. Hope is found when a newly diagnosed cancer patient calls for help and information and finds a friendly voice determined to help. Hope is found when a volunteer pulls into the driveway of a treatment facility to help that cancer patient receive their life-saving treatment. Hope is found in the eyes of a caregiver who logs onto their computer to connect with others who understand how they are feeling as they care for their loved one facing this disease. Hope is found in the heart of a cancer survivor who stepped foot on this track earlier today and was cheered on by hundreds of strangers in their community. Your support of Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society is creating hope and saving lives sooner. Whether your candle tonight burns in honor or in memory, please take pride in the fact that it also burns with the light of hope. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Natalie Savio. She's going to sing Amazing Grace for us.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear in the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home.
Thank you, Natalie. That was beautiful. Now I have Laura Taylor with a special caregiver story.
That was beautiful, Natalie. You have the voice of an angel. That song that you just sang was the same song that my sisters and brother and father and I sang when we celebrated my mom going home to heaven. My mom was Ingeborg Maria Elizabeth Pokorny Syvertson, but to everybody she was Inga. And Inga was a force to be reckoned with, and until she met cancer, I don't think she ever met anything that she couldn't conquer. And it's that spirit that lives on in me, in Teal. Inga is the Nana she was reading about. In Irene, who has tirelessly volunteered since Relay showed up here in Citrus Heights 7 years ago. When she was diagnosed, my son was in kindergarten, and she and my father had some very difficult decisions to make. They had a thriving business in Southern California, but they were pretty close to retirement, so they said it's time. And they sold their home, they sold their business, and they moved up here so that we could be near them. And even though I'm speaking tonight as my mom's caregiver, and I was part of the time, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the amazing job that Irene did taking care of this amazing woman. She didn't go out the way I thought she would. She kicked and she fought, and she had been told, you have 3 or 4 months. She lived for 1 year and 3 months. She had once said, well, if I ever get cancer, I'll never take chemo, I'll never take radiation. She took chemo, she took radiation, she did everything she could to hang on and be with her family. And the thing that was most important to her before she left this earth was to make sure that even though she knew where she was going, and she was quite certain of that, she wanted to be sure that everybody she knew and loved was someday going to be there with her. And so she spent her time on the phone. She couldn't walk around, she couldn't move around, she was in bed. She called people and she shared her faith, and it was an amazing thing, and I sat in on a couple of the conversations. And after she would share her faith with them, she would send them a book. She had read Pastor Rick Warren's Purpose-Driven Life, and she had found her purpose before she left this life. And she made Irene go and drive around to every bookstore and get a whole box of these things, and she mailed them to everybody. Well, Irene mailed them to everybody, but she put a personal inscription in them, and they went off to the people that she loved. And you know, Mom, I just want to tell you, we're all going to be there with you. And there's a whole bunch of people here that you would just love if you were here. And they'll be there with you too. It's tough taking care of someone with cancer. It's probably, you know, it's a sacrifice. I would say, other than doing relay, I would say it's probably the biggest sacrifice Irene ever made. One of the biggest sacrifices I ever made, but it was so worth it. And I couldn't have done it without the resources of the American Cancer Society. I learned words I'd never heard of: chemotherapy, oncology, palliative care. I had no idea what this stuff was. I was lost. And if I hadn't had someone to call, if I hadn't had a website to look up information, I needed information, because I had to know how to make it as easy as I possibly could for her, because she made my life so amazing. So there's a few of us on this track tonight that are products of Inga. There are some Girl Scouts, or former Girl Scouts, who still call her Nana. And it was an honor and a privilege to take care of her. And I thank you for letting me speak tonight. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm just very excited that I just got to sit with my sister and celebrate that she's a survivor of breast cancer. And we just watched this together, and I'm really, really happy that she's here and my family's here. And that was my little cousin Natalie, who sang Amazing Grace. She came all the way from San Jose to sing for us. And she sang that at my uncle's funeral, and she sounded even more amazing tonight. So I'm going to try to read what I'm supposed to read, okay? So if I don't start reading, I'll never stop. Can't see it. Okay. The American Cancer Society Relay for Life is held to remember those that we lost to cancer, to support all those who are battling the disease, and to work towards the day that no one has to hear the words, "You have cancer." When the final book is written on how cancer was eliminated, the American Cancer Society for Life will have the last chapter. It will explain how millions of people in thousands of communities in our country and across the globe came together to eradicate a disease, forming the largest not-for-profit fundraising event in the world, the largest in humankind's history. On behalf of millions of relayers everywhere, thank you so much, Citrus Heights community, and everyone who came from so far away to celebrate with us today. You have provided us with the gift of relay. Thank you for providing the gift of hope to so many people. Please join me in a lap of silence around the track. Please enjoy our beautiful Luninaria that we have set up on the stands on both sides. Compliments of my daughter McKenna. This lap is going to be led by our bagpipers, Casey Young and Joe Pickens. And once again, I'd just like to remind you that this is a lap of silence, so please respect that as we walk the Luminaria. Thank you.